So, welcome back to another episode, and today I am incredibly excited to show a brand new unreleased South Park game. This is serious, this is not made up stuff. I thought this was made up stuff when I talked to Brian, and he had acquired an Xbox here with an unreleased South Park game on it, and I didn't believe you. I'm like, what? How can this be possible? How can a South Park game be made and we didn't hear about it or anything like that? So we need the backstory.
A lot of games get made that never get released.
Yeah.
So a company called BuzzMonkey Software was developing a South Park game. It was basically a Simpsons Hit and Run clone. It's early alpha.
Yeah.
And I was down at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and they had this Xbox dev kit.
Yeah.
And it has what I believe to be the only playable copy of this game currently.
This is where, like, Brian came back from Portland. He's like, I bought this Xbox. There's this South Park game on it. We have to capture footage. We have to do a video on it. And I'm like, nobody's ever done this? This game is... I can't believe it. So the developers were working... This is the only copy?
As far as I know, this is the only playable copy. A guy I bought it from goes by Wafflefoot online.
Yeah.
He's been talking on Nintendo Age and Assembler Games and stuff about it. And there's one video clip out there. There's a couple photos out there. But as far as I know, this is the first time video footage is ever going to be released.
Yeah, gameplay footage.
Yeah.
And so before we got up here to do this, we hooked up the Xbox to a capture device and we played it. We played through all of the options. We tried to do as much stuff as we could with the game. There's a lot to all this. So I've written it all down here so we can go through what was on the Xbox itself.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of stuff on there, and it's really buggy. It crashes a lot. So, yeah, it'll be like little bits of footage here and there, but we definitely had to reboot the machine a lot of times to get what we got.
Yeah, like, speaking of which, you start off with mission 1, and it's in Cartman's house, and the object of the game is, of the level, is to get Cartman's extra shoe, but if you grab the shoe, it crashes right away. In fact, as you just said, it crashes all over the place.
It crashes immediately upon getting the shoe, and I think it took us 3 or 4 run-throughs to just get around the whole house to actually see it before it timed out.
Yeah, so we got into the base. We're in the basement. We got upstairs into the living room, and then upstairs into Cartman's room and his mother's room. And I gotta say, I was kind of impressed to see this. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, this is a South Park game that was not released. I kept saying that. I'm like, we're the only ones playing this? It was really something else, but as I said, really buggy. The next interesting thing was the vehicle test mission. Now, this is when you could just run around and jump into a bus.
Yeah.
And run around the entire city and bumping into shit. It was unreal.
This is where you definitely see the Simpsons hit and run, style to it, where you're running around. It's Simpsons or South Park Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And you can tell the city's very unfinished.
Oh yeah.
There was one version of it that we played where it actually showed on the ground. It said gravel and grass, like written on the ground in the areas of what would be there.
Well, wasn't it even in some levels it'd show the houses and it'd say Stan's house written on it.
Stan's house, Cartman's house.
Like, this is such an early game. Like, this is so early in development. So there's like different stages throughout the entire build of this that you can kind of get into. Some you can. Some you'll get into and just crash right away. But we did the vehicle test mission, drove around. That was kind of fun. And then Brian was surprised about this, and I was really excited to see this. The combat.
Yeah, we were messing around with this Xbox a long time ago when we first got it, and we didn't discover the combat mode. It was just today that we discovered that. And it was Cartman beating up a bunch of dogs,
doing shoryukens on them and stuff like that. But it was kind of cool to see that they had a combat system in place and it was working.
Yeah.
I remember you even saying when you were playing, you're like, this actually feels pretty good.
Yeah.
It actually controls quite well. So that was a combat system that was going to be in the game, but you can only do the combat in that level, the combat test area. Next up was the FX mission. This was nothing too different, was it?
More just driving around in cars and checking out the outside area.
Yeah.
So, and even during that part, we managed to go into the debug mode and change the camera settings so we could actually look at some overarching views of the map from different angles and things.
And that's one thing that you discovered that was really cool. You had the free roaming camera because you could just zoom out. So we were able to see the entire land of South Park, the entire world, and it just kept going. and going and going. They really had a big open world feeling to this game. That's what they wanted to accomplish.
The draw distance wasn't very good, so you can't see a lot of it at the same time, but it's definitely, it looks like a big map.
Yeah. A lot of popping, a lot of strobing colors and rainbow effects and things, and things disappearing, but very interesting. So next up was the character test mission. And that's where you were able to use Kenny.
Yeah, it was a good way of seeing what all the characters looked like on the map, but the controls were all messed up, and it was really hard to play.
What are you saying? All the controls were reversed?
They were reversed, and it was really awkward to control. But we got to see all the characters.
And map 1 test, that was just more car driving, wasn't it?
More car driving.
Yeah, they really had a big emphasis of driving around this world and accomplishing things like that. But just more of that. There was also a split screen mode that we, kind of dabbled with a little bit. It kind of worked, it kind of didn't. But it showed a little bit of promise, I guess.
It definitely looks like they wanted to try a bunch of things and then never really finished any of them.
Yeah. This game, I know we're beating it with a dead horse. You can't believe how early it was, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is a company that made a bunch of the Tomb Raider games, like Anniversary, Legend.
Yeah.
And then they were acquired by Zynga in 2012, so it's entirely possible that may have had something to do with this. But I think this was even in development a lot earlier than that. So.
And that's something we got to say, and I can't play the music because of copyright, but they had a whole bunch of like rap music and stuff like that for certain levels that were placeholders, I guess, so the development team could have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of fun while they were running around the world and stuff like that.
One of the cool things was the video clips. So there was the one intro clip that showed the mayor, and it was the intro to one of the earlier levels, and then there was the other clip that showed Cartman getting strapped down.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that was really unusual.
Yeah.
And then there was also, we were able to hit the intro so we could see all of the characters there as well.
Yeah, the load screen that shows the characters standing at the bus stop, that shows all the different options.
Yeah.
There was quite a few different options in there, different mini games and things that looked like they were going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, but they just never went anywhere when you hit them.
No, yeah, you hit the option and it just like leads you to a different menu that is not right.
Yeah, I remember it said like 4 missions, you go mission 2, it'd be like take you back to 1, mission 3, take you back to 1, mission 4, take you back to 1.
Controller settings.
Yeah, nothing showed up. There's a lot of dead ends in playing it. We had to, and the problem is we'd be playing it and it would crash, and we'd have to reboot the machine, start again, go back in, and test the next section out. And I guess one of the other modes we tested was Chef's Salty Balls levels.
Yeah, there was a mission called Chef Salty Balls.
Yeah.
And I think it was, go find Chef and get his balls or something. And then we just drove around because there was no indication of where to go or what to do, or if they had even put that on the map.
No, I know, and there was all the houses again were labeled, like Stan's house, all that kind of stuff. You got into a military-esque vehicle, and we're driving around because it had a gun on top. It's kind of hard to make out what it was at first. I'm like, is that a Doom buggy? What is that? And you just kind of drive aimlessly for forever. But yeah, I guess the only other noteworthy thing was leaving Cartman's house in that one level, when you're able to leave his house and kind of run around the streets.
Yeah, it's you can definitely tell they started with Cartman's house, and then everything outside of Cartman's house is a basic, skeleton of what it could be. And,
yeah, you're right about that, because Cartman's house is really detailed. It really seems fleshed out. You can go upstairs to the bedrooms, and they look completely finished.
The pink bathroom.
The pink bathroom that's very pink.
Yeah.
So absolutely fascinating to have this Xbox play this unreleased South Park game. And wasn't the company from Oregon or something like that?
Yeah, they were from Eugene, Oregon. It's BuzzMonkey Software.
Yeah.
And there was some other stuff on there, too. There was a demo of Cave Girl, which is basically just a model running around a cave.
Yeah.
There was a car demo. There was a field, some other random tech demos, a controller demo.
And then the Happy Feet.
A dolphin thing. And then the Happy Feet thing, which shows a little penguin on an island doing a little dance. It was pretty cool.
We have to understand this is from the original Xbox. This is from that time, so it looks a little older. But pretty interesting that you even have this game on this Xbox. I mean, how did you even, who had it before you?
This guy by the name of Wafflefoot. He bought it from, I believe, a local store in the Portland area. And then, he sold it at the auction at PRG. And I was like, I'm a big South Park fan. I'm going to check this out. And, and then we've been meaning to make a video for a while, and then it's just life.
For
Life
sure.
got busy.
Yeah, but we really wanted to show you guys this unfinished South Park game, this unreleased South Park game, because it's so fascinating to even have this. I wouldn't believe Brian for the longest time. I'm like, no, this can't be possible. And then we were playing the game, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, it really is there. And I was expecting it to crash a lot more than what it did. It did crash all the time. Your character would appear and be falling through multiple levels, or it would just be a black stage and you couldn't see anything. Or you'd always get the blue screen. The blue screen was so, you'd see that with every single thing. Hit this option, blue screen. This option, blue screen. But incredible to see. So I got to thank you, Brian, for bringing it over. Hooking it up so we can show all of you guys the unreleased South Park game. So anyways, guys, until next time.